Hello everyone. Now we are going to see the grammar part of your lesson Glimpses of the Past. Direct speech. Direct speech indicates the exact words of the speaker in the first person and marked off by inverted commas. So direct speech appears exactly the same way that a person has spoken the words. Okay, and it appears only in first person and it begins and ends with quotations. Let's look at an example. Vijay said, I am very hungry now. Now look at those words in pink color. So those words appear with a quotation in the beginning and a quotation at the end. Do you see the quote marks? Okay. So in the above example, we quote the actual words of Vijay. Okay. So those are the original words spoken by Vijay. Then direct speech is usually placed inside quotation marks, which are placed at the beginning and end of the actual words spoken. Then every time you start a new speech, you begin it with a capital letter. And then direct speech is always accompanied by reporting verbs like said, states, insists, etc. And they always have a signal phrase. For example, argue, claim, note, and quotative frame. Nothing but, see, look at the things in the bracket. He said, comma, then you open a quotation and you write the words spoken by the person, then you close the quotation and put a full stop there. Okay, that is called a quotative frame. Different tenses in direct speech. Simple present. I don't like carrots, she explained. Ram said, I love chocolates. Here, don't like and love are the verbs that are in simple present. Present continuous. I am waiting for the bus, she said. Priyanka said, my mother is cooking. Here, am waiting and is cooking are the verbs that are in present continuous. Present perfect. I have found a 100-rupee note, he said. Vimal said, I have passed the examination. Have found and have passed are the verbs that are in present perfect. Present perfect continuous. He said, I have been waiting here for ages. Sheila said, they have been playing for hours. Here, have been waiting and have been playing are the verbs that are in present perfect continuous. Summer tenses, simple past. I took it to school with me, she said. Jimmy said, I ate an apple. Here, took and ate are the verbs that are in simple past. Future tense. I will bring in my homework note on Friday, he said. Pinky said, I will go to beach tomorrow. Here, will bring and will go are the verbs that are in future tense. Future continuous. I shall be celebrating my birthday on the 19th of July, he said. They said, we shall be cleaning the yard this Sunday. Here, shall be celebrating and shall be cleaning are the verbs that are in future continuous. Indirect speech. Indirect speech is the speech of the person as reported or quoted by someone else. It is always in third person. So here a message spoken by someone is conveyed by a third person. Okay, so there is no quotation or anything here. Look at the example. Let's see the example in the direct speech first. Vijay said, I am very hungry now. But the same sentence when it turns into an indirect speech, look how it is. Vijay said that he was very hungry then. So let us see what are all the changes that we are making here. In the above example, first thing what we did not do, we did not quote the actual words of Vijay. So there are no quotations here. Okay, and then the conjunction that is placed before the indirect statement. Okay, so here which is the indirect statement? He was very hungry is the indirect statement before which we are placing the conjunction that. And then the pronoun I is changed to he. First person is changed to third person. And then the verb am is changed to was. So am is in present tense and it is changed to past tense. The adverb now is changed to then. So these are the changes that we make when we convert a direct speech into indirect speech. Rules for changing direct to indirect speech. In the indirect speech, the pronouns must be in the third person. Okay. For example, I becomes he or she. We becomes they. When the reporting verb is in the past tense, every present tense in the direct speech must be changed to corresponding past form. Okay. So whatever is there in the present tense in the direct speech must be changed to the past tense in the indirect speech. For example, is becomes was and have becomes had. And then when we talk about future tense, shall and will should be changed to should and would in the indirect. Let's see some more rules for changing direct to indirect speech. All pronouns, adjectives or adverbs denoting nearness must be replaced by the words denoting corresponding remoteness. So I'll give you an example. It will be very clear for you. Look at the example given below. He said the police came here yesterday. This is in direct speech. Okay. When you change it to indirect speech, first how you will write it? First you will say he said. And then you will remove the comma and the quotations. Okay. Then the police came here yesterday. That is a direct statement, right? So when you change it to indirect statement, you say the police came there the day before. So here becomes there and yesterday becomes the day before. Okay. So here and yesterday are some words that relate to the nearness and you're changing them to their corresponding remoteness. So here becomes there and yesterday becomes the day before. More examples are given for you here. So now becomes then, here becomes there, ago, before, thus. So today, that day, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday, the day before, last night, the night before, this, that, these and those. Rules for changing direct questions to indirect questions. When we change direct questions to indirect, what are the verbs we use? Asked, inquired and enquired are the kinds of verbs we used. Instead of saying said, we are going to say asked. Okay. He said to me, what are you doing? So this is a question. That is why we are changing it to he asked me what I was doing. And then, where do you live? Asked the man. Here it is an enquiry about the place of living. That is why we say the man inquired where I lived. And then there are some questions for which yes or no could only be the answer. Okay. In case of those questions, we use subordinating conjunctions if or whether. Let's look at the example. Jane said, will you listen to such a man? So for this question, the answer could either be yes, I will listen or no, I will not listen, right? That is why, see how we are changing it into indirect. Jane asked them whether they would listen to such a man. Rules for changing imperatives to indirect speech. So what are imperatives? Imperatives are like commands, orders, requests, advice, warnings, etc. Okay. So when we change the verb in quoted speech into an infinitive. Okay. So whatever verb is inside the quotation, to that we add an infinitive. Okay. So go becomes to go. Wait becomes to wait. Stop becomes to stop. Okay. Let's look at the examples. The teacher said, Victor, go away. So the teacher is ordering Victor, right? So the teacher ordered Victor to go away. Go becomes to go. Understood? Then Sunil told his friend, please wait here till I return. So this is a request. When you say please, it is a request. Sunil requested his friend to wait there till he returned. So wait becomes to wait. And then the doctor said to me, stop taking sugar. So this is an advice, obvious, right? The doctor advised me to stop taking sugar. So stop becomes to stop, okay? That is how an infinitive is introduced here. Rules for changing exclamations to indirect speech. So when we report exclamations to indirect speech, we use verbs equivalent to the same that were used in the direct speech to express the same ideas. We omit exclamations like, oh, alas, ah, and all those things, okay? In that place, we use with joy, with sorrow, happily, sadly, something like that. Example, he said, alas, I am undone. So, alas is a word that expresses sadness. Okay, so when you change it to indirect, see, he exclaimed sadly that he was undone. Okay, so alas is replaced with sadly. And then hooray, we have won the prize, shouted the children. Here hooray expresses happiness. Okay, the children shouted in joy that they had won the prize. Working with language, page 45. In comics, what the characters speak is put in bubbles. This is direct narration. When we report what the characters speak, we use the method of indirect narration. So if we directly give the statement in the first person, then it is direct narration. And if we report it in the third person, then it is indirect narration. We have already seen this. Look at the example. It is a conversation between two farmers and an officer, British officer. Okay. First farmer, why are your men taking away the entire crop? So obviously this is a question. Okay. And the second farmer, your men have taken away everything. This is just a statement. And then officer, you are still in arrears. If you don't pay tax next week, I'll send you to jail. So here the officer is giving a warning, right? If you don't pay tax next week, I'll send you to jail. This is a warning. So keep all these things in mind, and then let's change it into indirect speech. First one. The first farmer asked the officer why his men were taking away the entire crop. This is a question. That is why we are saying the first farmer asked the officer why his men were taking away the entire crop. The next one is just a statement. So the second farmer said that their men had taken away everything. And the officers replied. The officer replied that they were still in arrears and warned them that if they did not pay tax the following week, he would send them to jail. Change the following sentences into indirect speech. So here a dialogue between three men is given, and let's see what it is. First man, we must educate our brothers. Second man, and try to improve their material conditions. Third man, for that we must convey our grievances to the British Parliament. Okay, now let's change to indirect speech. We must educate our brothers. So we becomes what? The pronoun changes in indirect speech. We becomes they. Okay, they must educate. Then our becomes their. They must educate their brothers. Look at the second one. And try to improve their material conditions. So the second man added that they should try to improve their material conditions. Okay. And then the third one. For that, we must convey our grievances to the British Parliament. So the third man, what is he doing? He is giving a suggestion. Okay. So the third man suggested that we becomes they again. They must convey their grievances to the British Parliament. Here's another set of dialogues between three soldiers. First soldier, the white soldier gets huge pay, mansions and servants. Second soldier, we get a pittance and slower promotions. Third soldier, who are the British to abolish our customs? So, the first two are statements and the last one is a question. Let's change this to indirect speech. The first soldier said that the white soldier got, okay, change the tense. Got huge pay, mansions and servants. Okay. Then look at the second one. The second soldier remarked that they got a pittance and slow promotions. And the last one is a question. So the third soldier asked who the British were to abolish their customs. That's the end of this session. Meet you soon in a fresh one.